The foundation wasn't working. Donna stood in the cramped bathroom of her apartment as she dabbed another layer over the bruise blooming across her left wrist. Purple. Deep purple edging into black. The kind that screamed what she'd spent 3 years whispering denials about. Murphy had been drunk. Again. Angrier than usual because she'd come home after 9, because dinner wasn't ready, because breathing in his direction lately felt like an invitation for his fists. She switched hands, tried the right wrist. Steadier. The makeup held better here, where last week's bruises had already faded to yellow. She'd gotten good at this. Layers. Blend. Set with powder. Long sleeves even in summer. But today was the quarterly report meeting. Leonardo Morton didn't tolerate lateness, and she was already running behind. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. "You're pathetic," Murphy's voice drifted from the bedroom, muffled by the pillow he'd buried his head under. Running to that criminal like he's some kind of savior. She didn't answer. Answering always made it worse. The taxi ride to Morton Global Holdings took 20 minutes through morning traffic. 20 minutes to rehearse her smile, to practice holding files without wincing, to build the wall between Donna the secretary and Donna the victim. Only one of those women could walk through Leonardo's door. The lobby gleamed with marble and brass, employees nodding as she passed. They respected her here. She was Mr. Morton's right hand, the woman who knew his schedule better than he did, who could silence a room with a look. If only they knew she couldn't even silence one pathetic man in her own home. The elevator climbed to the 15th floor. Her reflection stared back from the polished doors. Professional. Composed. The bruise on her wrist completely hidden beneath her navy sleeve. She could do this. Leonardo's office occupied the entire east wing, glass walls overlooking the harbor where cargo ships drifted like toys. He was already at his desk when she entered, dark hair slightly disheveled from running his hands through it, the way he always did when reviewing contracts. "Good morning, Mr. Morton." Her voice came out steady. "Perfect." He glanced up, and those slate-gray eyes that could reduce grown men to stammering apologies softened just slightly. "Donna. Coffee. Already brewing. The files for the Singapore meeting are on your desk, and I rescheduled your lunch with the mayor to Thursday. His assistant called yesterday. What would I do without you? Survive probably. Thrive even. Men like Leonardo Morton didn't need anyone." She crossed to the cabinet where they kept supplies, reaching for the top shelf where he preferred his specific folders. Her sleeve rode up. "Just 2 inches. Just enough." "Stop." The single word froze her in place. She didn't turn around, but she could feel his gaze like a physical weight. Her heart hammered against her ribs. "Donna. Look at me. Hey there, my wonderful friend. How's your day going? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this story so far. Drop a comment and tell me where you're watching from." She lowered her arm, tugged the sleeve down, and turned with that practiced smile. "Yes." Leonardo had stood from his desk. He never stood unless something mattered. At 6'2", he towered over most people, but he'd never used his size to intimidate her. Until now, she'd never felt small in his presence. He didn't ask, didn't demand, just extended his hand, palm up. "It's nothing." The words tumbled out too quickly. "I bumped into the counter this morning. Clumsy. Your wrist." Not a question. Command. Her throat tightened. She could refuse. She could lie better, build the wall higher, keep these two worlds from ever touching. But Leonardo Morton built empires by reading people, and she'd never been able to hide anything from him. Not really. He knew when she was tired, when she'd skipped lunch, when something in her carefully constructed world had shifted. He knew. She extended her arm. His fingers were gentle as they pushed back her sleeve, revealing the full horror of what Murphy had done. The bruise wrapped around her wrist like a handprint, thumb impression visible on one side, fingers on the other. For a long moment Leonardo said nothing. His face remained perfectly calm, perfectly controlled. But Donna had worked for him long enough to recognize the signs. The muscle twitching in his jaw. The way his breathing slowed, deepened. The absolute stillness that came before the storm. Who? His voice was quiet. Deadly quiet. Mr. Morton, please. It's not. Who did this? She'd never heard her name spoken with such softness laced with such rage. It wasn't directed at her. She knew that. But the sheer force of Leonardo's fury sucked the air from the room. My boyfriend. The admission tasted like failure. Murphy. But it's complicated. He's been stressed about money, and I shouldn't have provoked him. Provoked him. Leonardo released her wrist with a care that contradicted everything his expression promised. By existing. By coming home. By breathing. Tears burned her eyes. She blinked them back. Does he live with you? She nodded. How long has this been happening? It's not always. He's not always like this. Wow. Long. 3 years. Something shifted in Leonardo's expression then. Not anger anymore. Something colder. More calculated. The look he wore in board meetings when someone tried to cheat him, right before he destroyed their entire operation. Go home, Donna. Panic spiked through her chest. What? Well, the Singapore meeting, the files. I'll handle it. Go home. Pack a bag. Anything you need. I can't just leave. Murphy will. Murphy, Leonardo interrupted. His voice dropping to that dangerous whisper that made seasoned criminals confess. We'll never touch you again. I promise you that. The certainty in his words should have frightened her. Maybe it did a little. But underneath the fear bloomed something else entirely. Oh, Mr. Morton. Leonardo. He returned to his desk, already pulling out his phone. After 3 years of this, I think we can drop the formality. Go home. I'll send a car in 2 hours. Where am I supposed to go? He glanced up, and for just a moment, she saw past the legendary businessman, past the rumors and the whispered warnings. She saw a man who'd lost his wife too young, who raised a daughter alone, who understood what it meant to protect the things that mattered. Somewhere safe, he said simply. I'll take care of the rest. Donna left the office in a daze, her wrists still tingling where his fingers had been. In the elevator, she finally let herself consider what his promise meant. Leonardo Morton didn't make empty threats. And he never ever left debts unpaid. By tomorrow morning, Murphy would discover exactly what happened to men who hurt people under Leonardo's protection. But Donna didn't know that yet. All she knew was that for the first time in 3 years she could breathe. The apartment smelled like stale beer and cigarette ash. Donna stood in the doorway, keys still in her hand, listening for signs of life. Silence. Murphy must have gone out. Probably to the bar on 5th Street where he spent her paychecks buying rounds for strangers, playing the big man while she worked 60-hour weeks to keep the lights on. She had 2 hours. Maybe less. Her hands still shook as she pulled the suitcase from the top of the closet. Dust rained down, coating her hair. She hadn't traveled anywhere in years. Murphy didn't like her going places without him, and taking him anywhere meant paying for everything while he complained. What did you even pack when your entire life fit into borrowed space? Oh, the few nice pieces she'd bought for work, buried behind the cheaper items Murphy didn't criticize. Toiletries. Her mother's necklace, the only thing she had left from before the accident. The photograph of her and her sister, both of them laughing at some long-forgotten joke. Her sister would have told her to leave years ago, would have shown up with a baseball bat and a moving truck. But cancer didn't care about timing, and Donna had buried her 2 months before meeting Murphy, when grief made her vulnerable and his attention felt like a life raft. Some life raft. More like an anchor. She was zipping the suitcase when she heard the key in the lock. Her blood turned to ice. Murphy stumbled through the door, reeking of whiskey at 11 in the morning. His eyes were bloodshot, shirt stained with something she didn't want to identify. When he saw her standing there with the suitcase, his expression shifted from confusion to rage in half a heartbeat. Going somewhere. Donna's mouth went dry. Just organizing. Spring cleaning. Spring cleaning. He laughed, ugly and sharp. With a packed suitcase. You think I'm stupid? But saying that would get her killed. He crossed the room in 3 strides, grabbed her arm. His fingers dug into the same bruise from yesterday, and she couldn't stop the gasp of pain. You're leaving me. After everything I've done for you. I gave you a home, You live in my apartment rent-free and haven't worked in 2 years. The words escaped before she could stop them. His hand rose. The door exploded inward. Donna had never seen the man who entered, but she recognized the type immediately. Tall, broad-shouldered, moving with the economical grace of someone who'd made violence into an art form. He wore a simple black suit, no tie, and his expression could have been carved from granite. Mr. Morton sends his regards. The man's voice rumbled like distant thunder. You must be Murphy. Murphy dropped Donna's arm, puffing up in that false bravado that fooled exactly no one. Who the hell are you? This is private property. I'll call the cops. Please do. I'm sure they'd be very interested in what we found in your car. My car. You can't just. The trunk specifically. 14 ounces of cocaine. Stolen merchandise from that electronics store robbery last month. And isn't that interesting? The gun matches the description from an unsolved assault case. Donna's head spun. What are you talking about? The man didn't look at her, keeping his eyes locked on Murphy, who'd gone pale. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to step outside. There's a car waiting downstairs. I don't know anything about drugs or guns or... Murphy was backing away, hands raised. This is insane. You planted that. You can't. The police will be here in approximately 4 minutes. I'd suggest you think very carefully about your next move. Murphy looked at Donna, and for a moment she saw something almost human in his eyes. Fear. Genuine fear. Tell them, he pleaded. Tell them I didn't do this. Donna, please. We can fix this. Change. Promise. Just tell them. She picked up her suitcase. The man held the door open, and she walked through it without looking back. Behind her, she heard Murphy shouting, the sound fading as she descended the stairs. Her legs felt disconnected from her body, moving on autopilot. Nothing felt real. Not the packed suitcase in her hand, not the stranger escorting her to a sleek black car idling at the curb, not the sirens already wailing in the distance. The rear door opened. Donna slid inside, and found herself face to face with Leonardo Morton. He'd loosened his tie, rolled up his sleeves. Even here, in the back of a car orchestrating her ex-boyfriend's arrest on apparently planted charges, he looked perfectly composed. You came yourself, she whispered. I told you I'd take care of it. He nodded to the driver, and the car pulled smoothly into traffic. How are you? How was she? Her boyfriend was being arrested. Her home was no longer safe. Her entire life had been dismantled in under 2 hours. Did you really plant drugs in his car? Leonardo was quiet for a moment, watching the city slide past the tinted windows. The drugs were already there. Murphy has been dealing for 6 months, small-time distribution. The merchandise took some arranging. The gun was... let's call it insurance. You framed him. I ensured he'd face consequences for his actions. There's a difference. Is there? He finally looked at her, and his expression was so calm it made her chest ache. He put his hands on you, Donna. He hurt you. Repeatedly. For years. What did you think I was going to do? Have a conversation. File a report that goes nowhere while he continues using you as a punching bag. You can't just decide. I already did. No apology. No justification. Just fact. He'll be processed, assigned a public defender who's overworked and underpaid. And by tomorrow he'll be in county lockup awaiting trial. The evidence is overwhelming. He'll take a plea deal within the week. The casual certainty in his voice should have terrified her. This was the Leonardo Morton everyone whispered about, the man who built empires and buried enemies, who operated by his own code. But all she felt was exhausted relief. Where are we going? My house. Guest room. You'll stay there until we find you a proper apartment somewhere safe. Somewhere he'll never find you. I can't impose on Donna. He shifted, angling toward her. You've run my life for 3 years. You know my schedule better than I do. You've covered for my mistakes, anticipated my needs, and never once asked for anything in return. Let me do this. The car turned onto a tree-lined street Donna had never seen. Houses set back behind iron gates and manicured lawns. Old money. Real money. The kind that didn't need to announce itself. What will people think? Her voice came out smaller than she intended. People will think I'm protecting a valued employee. Which is true. He paused. Unless you're worried about something else. Was she? Donna examined the question, trying to separate gratitude from the flutter in her chest whenever Leonardo looked at her like she mattered. Like she was more than just efficient. More than useful. Dangerous territory. The car pulled through a gate that opened automatically, stopping in front of a sprawling home that managed to be both elegant and understated. Warm stone, tall windows, flowers blooming in beds that someone actually cared for. Papa! The front door burst open, and a small figure in a school uniform came racing down the steps. Sophia Morton, all dark curls and bright eyes, launched herself at Leonardo the moment he stepped from the car. He caught her easily, swinging her up despite her protests that she was too old for such things. Shouldn't you be at school? Half day. Teacher development. Mrs. Chen picked me up. Sophia spotted Donna emerging from the car and gasped. Miss Donna. Are you visiting? Are you staying for dinner? Can we make pasta? The kind with the... Sophia breathed. Leonardo set his daughter down, but kept one hand on her shoulder. Miss Donna will be staying with us for a while. I need you to help her feel welcome. Really? Sophia's face lit up like Christmas. You're staying here. In our house. The pure joy in the child's voice cracked something in Donna's chest. When was the last time anyone had been genuinely happy to see her? Just for a little while, Donna managed. I'll show you everything. We have a library and a garden, and my room has a reading nook and... Sophia grabbed Donna's free hand, tugging her toward the door. Over the child's head, Leonardo's eyes met Donna's. There was a question there. Concern. Making sure she was truly okay with this arrangement. She nodded. What choice did she have? What choice did she want? Inside, the house smelled like lemon polish and fresh flowers. Mrs. Chen, a sturdy woman in her 60s, appeared from what must be the kitchen, wiping her hands on a towel. Mr. Morton. Miss Russo. Lunch will be ready in 20 minutes. Thank you, Mrs. Chen. Could you show Donna to the blue guest room? Already prepared, sir. Fresh linens, towels in the bathroom. He'd planned this. Before even confronting her this morning, Leonardo had prepared a room, had set everything in motion. The thought should have felt invasive. Instead, it felt like being caught. Come on. Sophia was still pulling her forward, chattering about books and school and her friend Maria who was being mean lately, but maybe not mean, just confused. Donna let herself be led upstairs, down a hallway lined with photographs. Leonardo and Sophia at the beach. Sophia as a baby. And one photo of a beautiful woman with Sophia's eyes, smiling at the camera like she held all the world's secrets. His late wife. The woman he'd loved enough to leave this enormous house feeling empty without her. The blue guest room was bigger than Donna's entire apartment. The bed was covered in soft white linens, afternoon sunlight streaming through gauzy curtains. A vase of fresh roses sat on the dresser. Do you like it? Sophia bounced on her toes. This is the nicest guest room. Papa said you're important. Donna set down her suitcase, throat tight. He said that. He always says that. Donna keeps the world running, Sophia. We'd be lost without her. So I knew you had to be really special. From the doorway, Leonardo's voice cut through the moment. Sophia, give Miss Donna some time to settle in. You can interrogate her at lunch. I'm not interrogating. I'm being welcoming. Out. Sophia sighed with all the drama a 10-year-old could muster but obediently skipped from the room. Leonardo remained in the doorway, hands in his pockets. She likes you, he said. She's wonderful. She is. And she's been through enough loss. So I need you to understand something, Donna. He stepped into the room, and suddenly the spacious quarters felt intimate. If you stay here, even temporarily, she'll get attached. She's already half in love with you from the times you've brought her hot chocolate at the office. I remember. So don't do this unless you're sure. Don't let her care if you're going to disappear. The words hit harder than Murphy's fists ever had. Because Leonardo wasn't talking about Sophia anymore. Or maybe he was talking about both of them. I won't disappear, Donna said quietly. I promise. He held her gaze for a long moment, searching for something. Then nodded. Lunch in 15 minutes. Come down when you're ready. He left, closing the door behind him. Donna sank onto the bed, finally alone with the wreckage of her morning. Her boyfriend was in jail. She was living in her boss's house. And somehow, impossibly, she felt safer than she had in years. Outside, she could hear Sophia's laughter, Leonardo's deeper voice responding. Family. And for just a moment, Donna let herself imagine what it might feel like to belong to one again. Lunch was surreal. Donna sat at a dining table that could seat 12, eating homemade minestrone while Sophia explained the intricate social politics of 5th grade. Leonardo listened with the same focused attention he gave board meetings, occasionally asking questions that made his daughter beam. And then Olivia said that Emma said that I said her bracelet was ugly, but I never said that, I said it was interesting, which is completely different. Completely. Leonardo agreed, perfectly serious. You understand, right, Miss Donna? Donna swallowed her soup. Absolutely. Interesting is diplomatic. Ugly is honest. Sophia pointed her spoon triumphantly. Exactly. See, Papa. Miss Donna gets it. Miss Donna has to navigate much more complicated politics than 5th grade. Like what? Leonardo's eyes flicked to Donna, the ghost of a smile playing at his mouth. Like managing me. That does sound complicated, Sophia said solemnly. Despite everything, despite the morning's chaos and the strangeness of sitting in Leonardo Morton's home eating lunch with his daughter, Donna laughed. Really laughed. The sound felt foreign. Leonardo noticed. She saw his expression shift, something warm flickering behind his usual control. Miss Donna, do you want to see my room after lunch? I have a rock collection. And books. Do you like books? I love books. What's your favorite? Sophia. Leonardo's voice held gentle warning. Let Miss Donna eat. It's okay. Donna found herself meaning it. I'd love to see your collection. The smile Sophia gave her could have lit the entire city. After lunch, Donna did indeed tour Sophia's room, admiring rocks labeled in careful handwriting and bookshelves organized by color. The little girl chattered constantly, filling every silence with observations and questions and stories that tumbled over each other. So different from Murphy's apartment, where silence meant safety and noise meant danger. Do you have any kids? Sophia asked suddenly, holding up a piece of quartz. No, I don't. Do you want them? Donna's throat tightened. She'd wanted them once, before Murphy, before everything good got buried under survival. Maybe someday. I think you'd be a good mom. You're patient. And you smile with your eyes. Thank you, sweetheart. Sophia set down the rock, suddenly serious. My mom died when I was 6. I still remember her, but sometimes it's hard. Papa says that's normal. It is normal. And I'm so sorry you lost her. Papa was really sad for a long time. He still is sometimes. But he pretends he's not because he thinks I don't notice. Sophia picked at her bedspread. Do you think people can be happy again after someone dies? The question was too big for a 10-year-old to carry. Donna sat on the edge of the bed, choosing her words carefully. I think people can find different kinds of happy. Not the same as before, but still real. Is that what you're doing? Finding a different kind of happy? Smart girl. Too smart. I'm trying. Sophia nodded like this made perfect sense. Good. You should stay here while you try. Papa's house is a good place for that. From the doorway, Leonardo cleared his throat. Sophia, homework. But it's Friday. Which means you have all weekend to procrastinate, and we both know you will. Get started now. Sophia groaned but pulled out her backpack. Leonardo gestured for Donna to follow him, leading her back downstairs to his study. The room was exactly what she'd expected. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, a massive desk, leather chairs that probably cost more than her monthly salary. But there were also small touches that surprised her. Sophia's artwork framed on the walls. A chipped mug holding pens, clearly made by child hands. A photograph of a much younger Leonardo holding a newborn. His expression caught between terror and awe. She likes you. Leonardo closed the door, muffling the sounds of the house. I wasn't sure how she'd react to someone new, but she's already attached. She's easy to love. Yes. Which is why I need to be careful who I bring into her life. He moved to the window, looking out over the garden. Donna, there are things you should know. About me. About what I do. Her pulse quickened. You run Morton Global Holdings. I run several enterprises. Some of them exist in daylight. Others prefer shadows. He turned to face her. I'm not a good man. I've done things that would horrify you. Hurt people. Destroyed lives when it served my purposes. I know what people say about you. The rumors are generous compared to reality. His voice was flat, matter-of-fact. I'm telling you this because Murphy's arrest will draw attention. People will ask questions. Your name will be connected to mine. And once that happens, you become visible to parts of my world that don't forgive weakness. Donna's mouth went dry. What does that mean? It means that protecting you this morning might have made you a target. Anyone looking to hurt me will see you as leverage. Then maybe I should leave. No. The word cracked like a whip. Leonardo crossed to her in 3 strides, close enough that she could smell his cologne, something subtle and expensive. You're safer here than anywhere else. But you need to understand what you're walking into. I'm not walking into anything. You made this choice for me. I did. And I'd do it again. No hesitation. But from this point forward, the choices are yours. You can stay here under my protection. Let me find you an apartment, set you up somewhere secure. Or you can walk away completely. New city, new job, new life. I'll arrange everything. You'd let me go. Just like that. Something flickered in his eyes. If that's what you wanted, yes. Donna studied his face, looking for the lie. But Leonardo had never lied to her. Not in 3 years. He'd omitted, redirected, carefully managed information. But never outright lied. What do you want? She asked quietly. That's not relevant. Tell me anyway. He was silent for a long moment, jaw tight. When he finally spoke, his voice was rough. I want you safe. I want Sophia to keep smiling the way she smiled at lunch. And I want to stop pretending I haven't been half in love with you for the past year. The words hit like a physical blow. Donna's breath caught. Leonardo. You don't have to say anything. I know the position I've put you in. Your boss, your employer, the person who currently has complete power over your living situation. Nothing about this is appropriate. No, she agreed. It's not. So take time. Think about what you want. No pressure. No expectations. He stepped back, rebuilding the professional distance. Your job is secure regardless. Your housing is secure regardless. Whatever you decide about. The rest won't change those facts. Her head spun. 12 hours ago she'd been hiding bruises and dreading going home. Now she was standing in Leonardo Morton's study while he confessed feelings she'd convinced herself were imaginary. I need air, she whispered. The garden. Through the back. Take all the time you need. Donna fled. The garden was beautiful, all flowering trees and stone pathways, but she barely saw it. Her mind raced, trying to process everything. Leonardo had feelings for her. Real feelings. Leonardo, who could destroy lives with a phone call. Who'd framed her boyfriend and had him arrested within hours. Who operated in shadows and admitted to horrors she couldn't imagine. Leonardo, who'd noticed her bruises when no one else had. Who'd protected her without being asked. Who looked at his daughter like she hung the moon and stars. Which version was real? Or were they both real, two sides of the same complicated man? Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Her finger hovered over the decline button, but something made her answer. Donna Russo. Yes. This is Detective Sarah Chen with the City Police. I need to ask you some questions about Murphy Davila and your relationship with Leonardo Morton. Donna's blood turned to ice. What kind of questions? The kind best asked in person. Can you come to the station? Or I can come to you. I understand you're currently residing at Mr. Morton's home. How did she know that? Murphy had been arrested hours ago. How were police already making connections? I'd prefer to speak with a lawyer first. That's your right, absolutely. But Miss Russo, if you're in danger, if Mr. Morton is pressuring you in any way, we can help. We've been building a case against him for months. Your testimony could be valuable. A case against Leonardo. For months. Donna's hand tightened on the phone. I'm not being pressured. Are you sure? Because from where we're sitting, your boyfriend gets arrested on convenient charges right after you start living with your boss. That raises questions. I have nothing to say without a lawyer. Miss Russo. Donna ended the call. Her hands shook. The police were investigating Leonardo. They thought she was being coerced. Or they wanted her to turn on him, provide evidence, betray the man who'd saved her. The man who'd admitted to doing horrible things. The man who'd just confessed he was falling in love with her. He should run. Should take his offer of a new city, new life. Escape before she got dragged into whatever darkness surrounded Leonardo Morton. But when she looked back at the house, she saw Sophia's face pressed against an upstairs window, waving enthusiastically. And she thought about lunch. About laughter. About feeling safe for the first time in years. Whatever came next, whatever consequences followed, Donna realized she'd already made her choice. She was staying. The question was whether that decision would save her or destroy her. Donna didn't tell Leonardo about the phone call. She told herself it was because she needed time to think, to process what the detective had said. But the truth sat heavier in her chest. She was protecting him. Already choosing sides before she fully understood what the sides even were. That first weekend passed in a strange, suspended reality. Sophia dragged her through the gardens, teaching her the names of flowers Mrs. Chen had planted. They baked cookies that burned on the bottom because neither of them remembered to set the timer. Leonardo worked in his study but emerged for meals, for Sophia's bedtime, for quiet moments on the back terrace as the sun set. He didn't push. Didn't mention what he'd said in his study. Just existed in her orbit, patient and present. On Sunday night, after Sophia had gone to bed, Donna found him in the library. He sat in one of the leather chairs, reading glasses perched on his nose, looking more relaxed than she'd ever seen him at the office. "Can't sleep?" he asked without looking up from his book. "Too quiet." "I'm used to." She trailed off. Used to listening for Murphy's footsteps. Used to calculating how drunk he was by the heaviness of his tread. Leonardo closed the book. Takes time to feel safe. Even after the danger is gone. "How do you know?" "My wife died in a car accident. 4 months afterward, I'd wake up at 3 in the morning checking on Sophia, convinced something would take her too. The brain doesn't let go of fear easily." Donna settled into the chair across from him. "Do you still wake up?" "Sometimes. Less now." He removed his glasses, and she was struck by how young he looked without them. Vulnerable. "But I still check on her every night before I sleep." "That's not fear. That's love. Maybe they're the same thing." The conversation felt too intimate for the foot of space between them. Donna should leave, go back to her room, maintain distance. Instead she stayed. "The detective called me," she said quietly. Leonardo went very still. "When?" "Friday. After our conversation." "What did they want?" "To ask questions about you. About Murphy's arrest. They said they've been building a case." "I know. Detective Sarah Chen, Organized Crime Division. She's been trying to find something actionable for 18 months. Leonardo's voice was calm, almost clinical. "What did you tell her?" "Nothing. I said I wanted a lawyer." "Smart. She'll call again." "I know." Donna leaned forward. "Leonardo, what exactly are they investigating?" He considered her for a long moment, clearly weighing how much truth to share. "Money laundering, racketeering, connections to organized crime. The usual accusations that come with old family names and complicated business structures." "Are the accusations true?" "Some of them. My grandfather built this family's fortune through less than legal means. My father expanded it. I've spent 15 years legitimizing our operations, but some doors don't close easily. Some partnerships can't be dissolved without consequences." "That's not an answer." "No," he agreed. "It's not. Because the real answer is complicated. I don't run drugs. I don't traffic people. I don't hurt innocents. But do I have connections to people who do? Do I sometimes leverage those connections for business purposes? Am I clean enough to survive Detective Chen's investigation?" He paused. "Probably. But not definitely." The honesty was worse than a lie would have been. A lie she could have dismissed, rationalized. The truth sat between them like a living thing. "If they find something, they'll arrest me. I'll be processed, arraigned, likely released on bail given my ties to the community and lack of flight risk. Then months of legal proceedings, media attention, and Sophia's life becoming a circus." "Oh God. Sophia." "Exactly." Leonardo stood, moving to the window. "Which is why I've been very, very careful. My lawyers are excellent. My records are immaculate. And the people who could testify against me have significant reasons to keep quiet. Fear. Mutual benefit. Everyone in my world has something to lose." Donna's stomach turned. This was the reality behind the beautiful house and the homemade cookies. Behind Sophia's laughter and the safety Donna had felt for 3 days. "I should go." She stood abruptly. "This was a mistake. I shouldn't be here." "Donna, you're under investigation. The police think I'm either a victim or a potential witness. Every day I stay here makes it worse. Or safer." Leonardo turned from the window. "If you leave now, it looks like you're running. Guilty conscience. Detective Chan will pursue you harder, push for testimony. But if you stay, if you continue working as my secretary, living here temporarily while you recover from an abusive relationship, you're just another employee I'm helping. Nothing suspicious. You want me to stay as cover. I want you to stay because Sophia asks about you every morning, and because I sleep better knowing you're not in some apartment alone where Murphy's friends could find you." His jaw tightened. "The cover is a convenient side effect." Phone buzzed. Leonardo pulled his cell from his pocket, glanced at the screen, and his expression hardened. "I need to take this. We'll talk more tomorrow." He left the library, phone already to his ear, voice dropping to that clipped tone that meant business. The dangerous kind. Donna sat back down, her head spinning. Monday morning brought a return to routine. Leonardo's driver took them both to the office. Sophia safely delivered to school first. The little girl had hugged Donna goodbye with the casual affection of a child who'd already decided they were important. "See you at dinner, Miss Donna." At the office, everything was normal. Too normal. Donna fielded calls, managed Leonardo's schedule, prepared briefings for meetings. Her co-workers asked about her weekend with the polite disinterest of people who didn't really want to know. Only Sean Wells, the company's CFO, seemed genuinely curious. "Donna, a moment." He stuck his head into her office just before lunch. Sean had always been kind to her. Mid-50s, silver-haired, with a gentle manner that put people at ease. He'd worked with Leonardo's father and had known Leonardo since childhood. Of course. What do you need? Sean closed the door behind him, and something in Donna's chest tightened. I heard you've been staying at Leonardo's home. I wanted to make sure you're all right. I'm fine. He's been very generous. Leonardo is many things. Generous isn't always one of them unless it serves a purpose. Sean settled into the chair across from her desk. I've known him a long time, Donna. And I've seen how he looks at you. Heat crept up her neck. I don't know what you mean. Yes, you do. And I'm not judging. But I need you to understand something about Leonardo Morton. Sean leaned forward, voice dropping. He's possessive. Once he decides something belongs to him, whether it's a company or a person, he doesn't let go. Ever. I'm not a possession. I know that. Does he? Sean pulled out his phone, tapped a few times and turned it toward her. This was taken yesterday. The photograph showed Donna and Sophia in the garden, laughing as they tried to untangle a kite from a tree branch. It was a beautiful shot, candid and warm. It was also taken from outside the property, through the fence, with a telephoto lens. Who took this? Donna's voice came out strangled. I don't know. It was sent to me anonymously this morning along with a message. Morton's new weakness. Thought you should know. The room tilted. Why are you showing me this? Sean's expression was genuinely sympathetic. Because I like you, Donna. You're good at your job, and you deserve better than being caught in Leonardo's crossfire. People are watching him. Watching you. And they're not the police. Who then? Business rivals. Old enemies. People who'd love nothing more than to find leverage against Leonardo Morton. Sean pocketed his phone. I'm telling you this as a friend. Be careful. Leonardo may think he can protect you, but his protection comes with a price. He left before Donna could respond. She sat frozen at her desk, mind racing. Someone was watching the house. Watching her with Sophia. Building a file, gathering intelligence. She should tell Leonardo immediately. But something stopped her. The way Sean had said it. The concern in his voice. The photograph he'd shown her instead of taking directly to Leonardo. Sean was trying to help her. Trying to warn her. Or was he? Donna pulled up Sean's file on her computer. She'd worked with him for 3 years. Processed his expenses. Managed his meeting schedules. Reliable, steady Sean who'd been with the company for decades. On impulse, she dug deeper. Financial records. Transaction histories. Things she technically had access to but rarely examined closely. Or a series of payments to an LLC she didn't recognize. Large payments monthly for the past 6 months. The kind of payments that didn't match any vendor or service provider she knew. Her hands shook as she cross-referenced the dates. The payments had started exactly 1 week after Detective Sarah Chan had opened her investigation into Leonardo. Well, it couldn't be. But as Donna stared at the screen, pieces clicked into place. Sean's gentle warnings. His concern about her relationship with Leonardo. The way he'd shown her that photograph instead of taking it to his boss. Sean was feeding information to someone. The police. Leonardo's enemies. Either way, he was the leak. And he'd just told her she was a target. Donna's phone rang. Leonardo's internal line. My office. Now. The command in his voice sent ice through her veins. She grabbed her tablet and crossed the floor on shaking legs. Leonardo stood at his window, back to her. Close the door. She did. I just received a very interesting phone call from our security team. Apparently, someone breached our home network over the weekend. Uploaded spyware to the security system. They've been watching the cameras remotely for 3 days. Donna's mouth went dry. The cameras. All of them. Garden. Always. Living areas. He turned, and his expression was carved from ice. Someone has been watching my daughter. Watching you. In my home. Leonardo, I need to tell you something. Sean showed me. I know what Sean showed you. I know about the photograph. Because I've had Sean under surveillance for 2 months. Leonardo's voice was deadly quiet. He's been selling information to the Calabrese family. My competitors. My enemies. The betrayal hit like a fist to the stomach. Kind, gentle Sean who'd worked with Leonardo's father. How long have you known? Long enough. I was waiting to see how far he'd go. What he'd give them. But bringing you into it. Leonardo's control cracked just slightly. Showing you that photograph was a threat, Donna. He was telling you that you're exposed. That they know about you. Why would he threaten me? To scare you into leaving. To remove you from the equation before you become too valuable to me. Leonardo crossed to her, and she saw genuine fear behind his anger. They're right. You are my weakness. You and Sophia. And now they know it. Donna's knees went weak. This wasn't a movie. This wasn't some dramatic story where danger was abstract and consequences were theoretical. This was real. People were watching her. Cataloging her movements. Planning how to use her against Leonardo. What do? We. Leonardo's expression softened just slightly. You should run. Let me get you out of the city. Out of the country if necessary. And Sophia. You're just going to let them threaten your daughter. Sophia has been a target since the day she was born. I have protocols in place. Security. Protection. His hand lifted, hesitated, then gently touched her cheek. But you. I never meant for this to touch you. Donna thought about Murphy. About 3 years of fear. About finally feeling safe. Only to discover she'd walked into a different kind of danger entirely. He should run. Should take Leonardo's offer and disappear. Instead she stepped closer. What do we do about Sean? She asked quietly. Leonardo's eyes darkened with something that might have been satisfaction or might have been relief. Let me handle Sean. You're going to take the rest of the day off. Go home. Stay with Sophia. Don't answer the door for anyone except Mrs. Chen. And you. I'm going to remind certain people why they should be afraid to touch what's mine. The possessiveness in his voice should have frightened her. Maybe part of her was frightened. But another part, the part that had survived Murphy, that had learned to recognize real protection from pretty lies, felt something else entirely. Claimed. Protected. Dangerous feelings for a dangerous man. But as Donna left the office and headed to the car waiting to take her back to the house, she realized she was done running from danger. It was time to learn how to fight back. Sophia was in the kitchen with Mrs. Chen when Donna arrived home, flour dusting her nose as she rolled out cookie dough. Miss Donna, we're making snickerdoodles. Want to help? The normalcy of it, the pure innocence, made Donna's chest ache. This child had no idea her father was currently dismantling a traitor's life. No idea that people were watching her, cataloging her routines, looking for weaknesses. I'd love to. They spent the afternoon baking. Sophia chattered about school, about a boy named David who'd pulled her hair, about the science project she wanted to do on volcanoes. Every smile, every laugh was a knife in Donna's heart because she knew how fragile this peace was. At 6, Leonardo's car pulled into the driveway. Sophia raced to meet him, and he scooped her up despite the exhaustion evident in his face. Over his daughter's head. His eyes met Donna's. It's done, that look said. After Sophia went to bed, Donna found Leonardo in his study, pouring whiskey into a crystal glass. He didn't offer her any, just downed half of it in one swallow. Sean? She asked quietly. Resigned. Effective immediately. He'll be on a plane to somewhere without an extradition treaty by morning. That's it. You're just letting him leave. Leonardo's laugh was bitter. You think I want to? You think I don't want to make him pay for every piece of information he sold, every vulnerability he exposed? He set down the glass with enough force to crack it. But Sean has been with this family for 30 years. He knew my father. He held Sophia when she was born. So yes, I'm letting him run because the alternative is something I don't want my daughter to ever learn about. The mercy surprised her. Or maybe it wasn't mercy. Maybe it was just exhaustion. And the Calabrese family. I sent a message. Made it clear that you and Sophia are off limits. That touching either of you means war. And they're not ready for that war. Will they listen? They'd be stupid not to. Something in his voice made Donna's stomach tighten. What did you do, Leonardo? He didn't answer, just poured more whiskey. She should leave it alone. Should accept the protection he was offering and not ask questions about the cost. But she'd spent 3 years not asking questions, hiding from truth, and look where it had gotten her. What did you do? She repeated. Leonardo turned, and the look in his eyes stopped her breath. I burned down one of their warehouses. 40 million in product gone. And I made sure they knew exactly why. Donna's knees went weak. You committed arson. Destroyed that much money. Over me. Over the threat to you. Sophia. Yes. No apology. No hesitation. They needed to understand that some lines don't get crossed. Someone could have been hurt. Killed. The building was empty. I'm not a monster, Donna. Aren't you? The words hung between them, sharp and cutting. Leonardo's expression hardened. You know what? Maybe I am. Maybe that's exactly what I am. But I'm the monster who's keeping you safe. Who's giving you a home. Who's making sure Murphy never touches you again. He stepped closer, and Donna fought the urge to back away. So if you've got a problem with my methods, there's the door. I won't stop you. Leonardo. I mean it. You want the protection without the violence. The safety without the cost. It doesn't exist. Not in my world. Either accept what I am or leave. The ultimatum cracked something in her chest. That's not fair. Life isn't fair. If it was, my wife would still be alive. Sophia would have a mother. And you wouldn't have spent 3 years being someone's punching bag. His voice dropped, rough with emotion. I'm giving you the truth, Donna. All of it. No more pretty lies. This is who I am. Donna stared at him. This man who'd saved her and terrified her in equal measure. Who looked at his daughter with infinite tenderness and burned buildings to make a point. I need time, she whispered. Take all the time you need. But take it here where I can keep you safe. She fled to her room, heart pounding, world spinning. That night sleep wouldn't come. Donna lay awake replaying everything. Leonardo's confession. The warehouse. The casual way he'd admitted to destroying $40 million worth of property like it was nothing. Around 2 a.m, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Again. She should ignore it. Should delete it and go back to sleep. Instead she answered. Miss Russo. The voice was male, smooth, with an accent she couldn't place. My name is Dante Calabrese. I believe we should talk. Donna's blood turned to ice. I have nothing to say to you. Even if it concerns the safety of young Sophia Morton. The world stopped. If you touch her. I'm not going to touch her. I'm going to offer you a choice. Dante's voice was pleasant, conversational. Leonardo burned down my warehouse tonight. 40 million in losses. Normally that would require retaliation. Blood for blood. But I'm a reasonable man. What do you want? Information. Ledgers specifically. Leonardo keeps 2 sets of books. One for the IRS, one with the real numbers. I want the real ones. The files that show where the money actually goes. I don't have access to. You have access to everything, Miss Russo. You're his secretary. His confidant. The woman living in his home. You could get those files without him ever knowing. Donna's mind raced. And if I refuse? Then I'll be forced to respond to Leonardo's attack in kind. And children make such effective messages, don't they? So small. So fragile. So easy to hurt. The threat was delivered in that same pleasant tone, like he was discussing the weather. You're insane. I'm pragmatic. Get me the files by Friday and Sophia lives. Leonardo never knows you were involved. Everyone stays safe. Or refuse. And see what happens when Leonardo's protection isn't enough. The line went dead. Donna sat in the darkness, phone shaking in her hand. Dante Calabrese wanted her to betray Leonardo, to steal files that would probably destroy him. And if she refused, Sofia would pay the price. She should tell Leonardo immediately. Wake him up, explain everything, let him handle it. But Dante's words echoed in her mind. Children make such effective messages. If she told Leonardo, he'd go to war, would hunt Dante down and destroy him. And in the chaos, while Leonardo was focused on revenge, what would stop the Calabrese family from taking Sofia anyway? Donna had seen Leonardo's rage, his need for control, his absolute refusal to show weakness. Going to war was exactly what he'd do. And Sofia would become a battlefield. The alternative was betrayal, stealing files, giving Dante what he wanted and praying he'd keep his word. Criminal's word. 'Cause that worked out so well. Donna's hands shook as she considered the impossible choice. Betray Leonardo and possibly save Sofia. Or trust Leonardo's protection and risk a child's life. There had to be another option. Had to be. Her phone buzzed again. A text from the same unknown number. Photograph. Sofia at school taken today. The angle was wrong, too close. Someone had been standing right next to her. The message below read, Friday. Don't test me. Donna barely made it to the bathroom before she vomited. The next 3 days were a special kind of hell. Donna went through the motions, smiled at Sofia, managed Leonardo's schedule, pretended everything was fine while her mind spun through scenarios, each worse than the last. She could go to the police. But they'd wanted her testimony against Leonardo anyway. They'd use this as leverage, push her to become an informant. And if the Calabrese family had people inside the police department, which they probably did, Sofia would be dead before any protection could be arranged. She could run, take Sofia and disappear. But Leonardo would find them. And even if he didn't, the Calabrese family would. Or she could do what Dante wanted. Betray the man who'd saved her. Wednesday night, Leonardo found her in the library, staring at a book she wasn't reading. You've been quiet. He settled into the chair across from her. Did I scare you the other night? With the warehouse? But that wasn't what was eating her alive. I'm just processing, she managed. Donna, I need you to understand something. Everything I do, every choice I make is calculated. The warehouse wasn't revenge. It was a message. A deterrent. And if they don't listen to the message, they will. The Calabrese family is ambitious but not stupid. They won't risk open war over one warehouse. He sounded so certain, so confident in his ability to control the situation. He had no idea they'd already made their move. What if you're wrong? Donna's voice came out smaller than she intended. What if they retaliate? Then I'll handle it. Leonardo leaned forward, and his expression softened. I know you're scared. I know this world is ugly and violent and nothing like what you signed up for. But I promise you I will keep you safe. Both of you. The sincerity in his voice made her want to weep. How can you promise that? Because I've been playing this game since I was 20 years old. Because I know every move, every countermove. Because I've never lost anyone I was determined to protect. Your wife. The words slipped out before she could stop them. Leonardo's expression shuttered. That was different. That was an accident. Random chance. This is deliberate threat. And I know how to neutralize those. But he was wrong. He had to be wrong. Because if Leonardo's protection was absolute, Dante Calabrese wouldn't have dared to threaten Sofia. Which meant either Leonardo was overconfident, or Dante had something Leonardo didn't know about. Either way, Sofia was at risk. Donna made her decision. Thursday night, after everyone was asleep, she crept into Leonardo's study. His computer was password protected, but she'd seen him enter it 100 times. Muscle memory from standing behind his desk, watching over his shoulder. Her hands shook as she typed. The system opened. Finding the files took 20 minutes of searching through layers of folders and encrypted documents. But she'd organized half of them herself. She knew Leonardo's system. The real books. Transactions that showed money flowing to offshore accounts, to shell corporations, to people and places that would destroy Leonardo if they ever became public. She copied them to a flash drive, her stomach churning with every second that passed. This was betrayal. Complete, absolute betrayal of the man who'd saved her. But it was also the only way to save his daughter. Donna pocketed the drive and erased her digital footprint as best she could. Then she crept back to her room, crawled into bed, and waited for dawn. Friday morning, she told Leonardo she had a doctor's appointment. Routine checkup. He barely looked up from his breakfast, just nodded and went back to discussing Sophia's upcoming piano recital. So normal. So perfectly normal. Donna met Dante Calabrese in a coffee shop 3 blocks from the harbor. He was younger than she'd expected, handsome in a polished way that reminded her of Leonardo. Same expensive suit. Same calculating eyes. Miss Russo. Pleasure. She slid the flash drive across the table. Everything you asked for. Now leave Sophia alone. Dante pocketed the drive without checking it. Of course. A deal's a deal. How do I know you'll keep your word? You don't. But you're betting I will because the alternative was unthinkable. He smiled, and it was genuine warmth that somehow made him more terrifying. For what it's worth, I admire you. Betraying Leonardo Morton takes courage. It's not courage. It's desperation. Often the same thing. Dante stood, buttoning his jacket. One more thing. Leonardo will eventually figure out those files are missing. When he does, when he comes asking questions, remember something. What? You chose his daughter over him. That's not betrayal. That's love. The kind of love he'd respect if he wasn't too proud to admit it. Dante walked away, leaving Donna sitting alone with her coffee and her crushing guilt. She'd done it. Saved Sophia. Protected an innocent child from the consequences of her father's war. So why did she feel like she'd just destroyed everything? The call came at 3 in the afternoon. Leonardo's voice was ice. My office. Now. Donna's heart stopped. He knew. Somehow he already knew. The drive to Morton Global Holdings felt like a funeral procession. Donna's mind raced through explanations, justifications, anything that might make him understand. But when she walked into his office and saw his expression, she knew nothing would help. Close the door. She did. Leonardo stood at his window, back rigid, hands clasped behind him. I had an interesting conversation with my IT department an hour ago. Apparently, my personal computer was accessed last night at 2:15 in the morning. Files were copied. Very specific files. Donna's mouth went dry. Leonardo. And then, 30 minutes ago, I received a phone call from Dante Calabrese, thanking me for the information, explaining that he now has everything he needs to destroy my legitimate business operations, to expose transactions that will put me in prison for 20 years. I can explain. He turned, and the look on his face stopped her breath. Not anger. Worse. Betrayal. The expression of a man who'd trusted completely and been proven a fool. You gave him the files. Not a question. A statement. Donna's eyes burned. He threatened Sophia. He sent me pictures of her at school. He said if I didn't give him what he wanted, he'd hurt her. I didn't have a choice. There's always a choice. Leonardo's voice cracked just slightly. You could have come to me. Told me about the threat. Let me handle it. And what would you have done? Gone to war. Burned down another warehouse. While you were busy protecting your pride, what would have stopped them from taking her? My pride. Leonardo's control shattered. You think this is about pride? I could have moved Sophia. Put her somewhere safe. Brought in security teams. There were a dozen ways to protect her without handing Dante the keys to destroy everything I've built. I didn't know that. I didn't know what options existed. I just knew a monster was threatening a little girl, and I had the power to stop it. By betraying me. The words hit like a slap. I was trying to save your daughter. You were trying to play hero in a game you don't understand. Leonardo moved closer, and Donna had never seen him look so cold. Do you know what you've done? Dante now has proof of money laundering, tax evasion, connections to criminal enterprises. He can take that to the FBI, to the press, anywhere he wants. My legitimate businesses will be investigated. My assets frozen. And Sophia. His voice broke on his daughter's name. Sophia will watch her father get arrested. Will be pulled from school while reporters swarm. Will spend her teenage years visiting me in prison. You didn't save her, Donna. You destroyed her entire life. The floor tilted beneath Donna's feet. No, Dante promised. He said if I gave him the files, he'd leave her alone. And you believed him. You believed a criminal's promise. Leonardo laughed, bitter and sharp. God, I thought you were smarter than this. I thought. He turned away, and when he spoke again, his voice was quiet, defeated. I thought you trusted me. That after everything you'd come to me. But instead you made a deal with my enemy. Gave him exactly what he needed. And now we all pay the price. Donna's tears finally spilled over. I was trying to protect her. Trying to keep her safe. By becoming the very thing that threatens her. Leonardo moved to his desk, pulled out his phone. I need you to leave. Pack your things. Be out of my house by tonight. The words were a knife to the heart. Leonardo, please. You're fired, Miss Russo. Effective immediately. And if I ever see you near my daughter again, I'll have you arrested for trespassing. You can't mean that. He looked up and his eyes were empty. I trusted you with everything. My business, my home, my daughter's safety. And you sold me out to save yourself from making a hard choice. That's not what happened. Get out. Donna stumbled from the office, tears blinding her. The elevator ride down felt endless. Employees stared as she passed, and she knew they could see it. See the destruction written across her face. Leonardo's driver was waiting outside. Silent. Professional. He drove her back to the house one last time. Sophia was at school. Thank God for small mercies. Donna packed quickly, shoving clothes into her suitcase. Hands shaking too hard to fold anything properly. Mrs. Chan appeared in the doorway. Her expression sympathetic but distant. Mr. Morton called. I'm to ensure you leave the premises. I know. I'm going. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. Sophia will miss you. The kindness broke her. Donna sank onto the bed, sobs tearing from her chest. She tried to save Sophia and destroyed everything instead. Lost Leonardo's trust. Lost her job. Lost the first real home she'd felt in years. And for what? A criminal's promise that probably meant nothing. Donna finished packing and walked out of the blue guest room for the last time. Down the stairs where Sophia had dragged her that first day. Through the kitchen where they'd baked cookies. Past the library where Leonardo had confessed his feelings. All of it gone. Burned to ash by one terrible decision. The driver took her to a hotel. Cheap, anonymous, the kind of place where no one asked questions. Donna paid cash for 3 nights and locked herself in a room that smelled like disinfectant and broken dreams. Her phone buzzed. A news alert. Morton Global Holdings under investigation. FBI raids downtown offices. Below was a photograph of Leonardo being led out in handcuffs. And in the background, barely visible, was Sophia, 10 years old, watching her father's arrest. Face frozen in shock and confusion. Donna's scream was silent, but it tore her apart from the inside. Dante hadn't kept his promise. He'd taken the files straight to the FBI. Had destroyed Leonardo anyway. And Sophia. God, Sophia. The little girl who'd shown her rock collections and asked if people could be happy again after someone died. Donna had promised she wouldn't disappear. Had promised Sophia she was staying. Another lie. Another betrayal. Her phone rang. Leonardo's number. She answered with shaking hands. I'm so sorry. I'm so Save it. His voice was rough, exhausted. I'm out on bail. My lawyer says the charges are serious. Federal. I'm looking at 20 years minimum. Leonardo, I never meant. I know what you meant, and I know why you did it. But intentions don't fix this, Donna. Nothing fixes this. Silence stretched between them, heavy with everything that could have been. There's something else, Leonardo finally said. Dante sent me a message. Told me you gave him the files to protect Sophia. That he'd threatened her. Yes. He also told me he never intended to honor the deal. That he was using you from the beginning. He knew you'd betray me to save her, and he counted on it. The cruelty of it stole her breath. I'm sorry, she whispered. I'm so sorry. I know. But sorry doesn't undo what's done. Leonardo's voice cracked. I have to go. Lawyer's here. I just wanted you to know that Sophia asked about you. Asked when you were coming home. The line went dead. Donna collapsed on the stained hotel bedspread and cried until there was nothing left inside her. She'd wanted safety. Wanted protection. Wanted to save an innocent child. Instead, she'd destroyed the man she loved and traumatized the girl she'd tried to protect. And the worst part, the truly unbearable part, was that Dante had been right. She'd chosen Sophia over Leonardo. Had made the choice she thought was love. But love without trust was just another kind of betrayal. And now they'd all pay the price. 3 days in the hotel room. Donna barely left the bed except to use the bathroom. Room service trays piled up by the door, food untouched. Her phone buzzed constantly with calls from numbers she didn't recognize. Reporters, probably. Or worse. She ignored them all. The news played on a loop. Leonardo's arrest. Federal charges. Speculation about organized crime connections. And in every report, that same footage of Sophia standing frozen as her father was led away in handcuffs. Donna had done that. With good intentions and terrible judgment, she destroyed everything. On the 4th day someone knocked. Housekeeping. Go away. The knocking continued. Persistent. Donna dragged herself from the bed, yanked open the door ready to scream, and found Detective Sarah Chen standing in the hallway. Miss Russo. We need to talk. Donna tried to close the door. Sarah's foot blocked it. I'm not here to arrest you. I'm here because you're the key to understanding what actually happened. Let me in, or I'll get a warrant and make this official. What did it matter anymore? Donna stepped aside. Sarah entered, taking in the unmade bed, the ignored food, Donna's unwashed hair and 3-day-old clothes. Her expression softened slightly. When's the last time you ate? I don't remember. Sarah pulled out her phone, ordered food from somewhere nearby. Then she sat in the room's single chair and studied Donna with cop eyes that saw too much. You gave Dante Calabrese the files. Not a question. Donna sank onto the bed. Yes. Why? He threatened Sophia. Sent me pictures. Said he'd hurt her if I didn't cooperate. And you didn't think to tell Leonardo. To come to the police. Donna's laugh was broken. Tell the police who wanted Leonardo arrested anyway. Tell Leonardo, who would have gone to war and gotten his daughter killed in the crossfire. I made the only choice I could see. You made the choice you've always made. Sarah leaned forward. I've been investigating you too, Miss Russo. Your background. Murphy Davila. 3 years of abuse you never reported. Never asked for help. Just survived alone until Leonardo intervened. What's your point? My point is you have a pattern. When threatened you don't reach out. You don't trust. You handle it yourself even when the cost is unbearable. Sarah's voice gentled. You spent 3 years being beaten because you didn't think anyone would help. And when Dante threatened Sophia, you defaulted to that same pattern. Handled it alone. Didn't trust Leonardo to protect his own daughter. The words hit like physical blows because they were true. Donna had been so certain Leonardo would make it worse. That his violence and pride would escalate the situation. She'd never even considered that he might have options she couldn't see. She'd treated him exactly like Murphy. Like another man who'd hurt her if she asked for help. I destroyed him, Donna whispered. Maybe. Or maybe you gave us the opening we needed. Donna's head snapped up. What? Sarah pulled out a folder, spread photographs across the cheap bedspread. These are surveillance photos we've been collecting for months. Dante Calabrese meeting with corrupt officials, moving product, laundering money. We knew he was dirty, but we could never get evidence that would stick. He's careful. Protected. I don't understand. The files you gave Dante. They weren't just Leonardo's records. They contain transaction histories that show money flowing between Morton Global Holdings and several Calabrese front companies. Dante thought he was getting ammunition against Leonardo. What he actually got was proof of his own criminal enterprise embedded in those same transactions. Donna's heart stuttered. Leonardo knew. The files were a trap. No. Leonardo keeps meticulous records of everything, including his enemies' transactions when they intersect with his business. It's insurance. But when Dante took those files to the FBI, he gave us everything we needed to build a RICO case against the entire Calabrese organization. The room spun. So Leonardo's arrest is real. The charges are legitimate. But so is our case against Dante, and his is airtight. We're bringing down one of the largest crime families on the East Coast. Sarah gathered the photos. Here's where you come in. We need your testimony. Everything Dante said, the threats he made, how he coerced you into stealing those files. With your statement, we can add witness tampering, extortion, conspiracy charges that'll put him away for life. And Leonardo. Sarah was quiet for a moment. Leonardo Morton has done illegal things. The evidence shows that. But his lawyer is good, and most of the charges rely on interpretations of financial transactions that could be explained multiple ways. He'll probably take a plea deal. Reduced charges. Maybe probation, maybe minimal prison time. But his daughter will have a father who's alive and eventually free. Unlike what would have happened if you'd refused Dante and he'd made good on his threats. Sarah stood. You made a choice in an impossible situation, Donna. You chose to protect a child. That's not betrayal. That's sacrifice. The words were too kind for what Donna had done. Leonardo will never forgive me. Maybe not. But that's between you and him. Sarah moved to the door. I'll be back tomorrow with paperwork. Get some rest. Eat something. And Miss Russo, stop punishing yourself for not being psychic. You did your best with the information you had. Sarah left. Donna sat in the silence, Sarah's words echoing. You have a pattern. You don't trust. You handle it alone. It was true. All of it. She'd survived Murphy by making herself small, by not asking for help, by enduring alone. And when faced with a real threat to Sophia, she'd reverted to that same survival mode. Never trusting that Leonardo might have solutions she couldn't imagine. Never believing she deserved to be protected the way she wanted to protect others. Always alone. Always surviving. Never actually living. The realization cracked something open in her chest. Her phone rang. An unknown number, but something made her answer. Miss Donna. Sophia's voice. Small and scared. Sophia. Sweetheart, are you okay? I'm at my friend Maria's house. Mrs. Chen is staying with me while Papa handles lawyer stuff. Everyone at school is being weird. They whisper when I walk past. And Papa won't talk about what happened. He just says everything will be okay, but his eyes are sad. Donna's throat closed. I'm so sorry, Sophia. Why did you leave? Papa said you had to go, but he won't tell me why. Did I do something wrong? No. Oh no. You didn't do anything wrong. Then why does everything feel broken? 'Cause I broke it, Donna thought. 'Cause I made choices that hurt people I love. But she couldn't say that to a 10-year-old. Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes, Donna said carefully. Big mistakes that hurt people even when we're trying to help. And sometimes it takes a while to fix those mistakes. Can you fix it? Can you come home? Sophia called it home. Called Donna part of it. I don't know if I can, sweetheart. Will you try? Please. Papa's trying to be strong, but I know he misses you. And I miss you. It's lonely here without you. The tears came again, but softer this time. I'll try. I promise I'll try. Okay. Have to go. Mrs. Chen is calling. But Miss Donna, I don't care what anyone says. You're still my family. The line went dead. Donna sat holding the phone, Sophia's words burning in her heart. You're still my family. She'd spent 3 years with Murphy, never having family. Never having anyone who cared if she lived or died. And in 3 weeks with Leonardo and Sophia, she'd found something she didn't know she'd been missing. Belonging. And she'd thrown it away because she didn't trust it. Didn't trust herself to deserve it. But Sophia trusted her. Despite everything, that little girl still believed Donna belonged. Maybe it was time to start believing it too. Donna stood, looked at herself in the mirror. Unwashed hair, hollow eyes. The ghost of Bruises long faded but never truly gone. She'd survived Murphy by enduring. By making herself small and waiting for it to be over. But this wasn't something to survive. This was something to fight for. Leonardo might never forgive her. Probably wouldn't. But she could still do the right thing. Could testify against Dante. Could help protect Sophia from the monster who'd used Donna's fear against her. Could stop surviving and start actually fighting back. Donna picked up her phone and called Detective Chen. I'll testify. Whatever you need. I'll do it. Good. Come to the station tomorrow. We'll go over everything. There's one more thing I need. A favor. What kind of favor? Donna took a breath. I need to see Leonardo. Before the trial. Before everything becomes official. I need to talk to him. Sarah was quiet. He might not want to see you. I know. But I have to try. For Sophia. For myself. I have to try. I'll see what I can do. Donna ended the call and finally took a shower. Washed away 3 days of despair. Got dressed in clean clothes. Ordered food and forced herself to eat. She couldn't fix what she'd broken. Couldn't undo the betrayal. But she could stop hiding from the consequences. She could fight for the family she'd found and lost. And maybe, just maybe, she could learn to trust that she deserved to be fought for too. Detective Chen arranged the meeting for the next evening. Neutral territory. A cafe near the harbor. Closed to the public for an hour. Just Donna, Leonardo, and armed federal agents outside in case things went wrong. Donna arrived first. Hands shaking as she ordered coffee she wouldn't drink. Then Leonardo walked through the door. He looked exhausted. Lines around his eyes she'd never noticed. His suit was still impeccable, but something in his posture had shifted. The absolute confidence she'd always associated with him had cracked. He sat across from her without a word. Thank you for coming, Donna started. Detective Chan said you had information about Dante's threats. For the case. His voice was professional, cold. Let's get this over with. That's not why I asked you here. Leonardo's jaw tightened. Then we have nothing to discuss. Please. Just listen. Listen to what? More apologies. More explanations about how you betrayed me for my own good. He started to stand. I was afraid. The words burst out of her, raw and desperate. I was terrified. Dante sent me pictures of Sophia. And all I could think about was that little girl getting hurt because I didn't act. Because I waited for someone else to save her. Leonardo stilled. You want to know why I didn't come to you? Why I didn't trust you to handle it? Donna's voice cracked. Because for 3 years I trusted Murphy. Believed him when he said he'd change. When he promised the bruises would stop. I trusted, and it nearly destroyed me. I'm not Murphy. I know that. God, I know that. But when you're drowning, you forget how to trust the rope. You just grab for anything that looks like safety, even when it's pulling you deeper. She leaned forward, desperate for him to understand. I made the wrong choice. I know that now. But I made it because I was trying to save your daughter with the only tools I had. fear and sacrifice. Leonardo was quiet for a long moment. You should have trusted me. You're right. I should have. But trust isn't a switch I can just flip after 3 years of abuse. Something I have to learn. Something I'm trying to learn. And what? I'm supposed to just forgive you because you had a hard past. The anger in his voice was desperate, hurt. Donna, I'm facing 20 years in prison. Sophia is being bullied at school. Our lives are destroyed. I know. And I can't fix that. But I can testify against Dante. Can help make sure he pays for what he did. To both of us. She reached across the table, stopped just short of touching his hand. And I can tell you the truth. That I love you. That I love Sophia. That you were the first people in years who made me feel like I belonged somewhere. Leonardo's eyes met hers, and she saw everything in them. Anger. Pain. And underneath it all, something that looked like longing. Love isn't enough, Donna. No. But it's a start. And maybe trust can be built piece by piece if you let it. He pulled back, stood. I need to think. About all of this. That's all I'm asking. Just think about it. About whether what we had is worth fighting for. Leonardo walked to the door, stopped. Without turning around, he said, Sophia asked about you. Every day. She doesn't understand why you left. What did you tell her? That sometimes people make mistakes. That we have to decide if we can forgive them. He finally looked back. I haven't decided yet. Then he was gone. Donna sat in the empty cafe. Coffee cold, heart pounding. It wasn't forgiveness. But it wasn't final rejection either. It was a chance. Fragile and uncertain but real. The trial started the following week. Donna sat in the witness box. Dante Calabrese watching her from the defense table with cold calculation. She told the truth. All of it. The threats. The photographs. The impossible choice. Dante's lawyer tried to tear her apart on cross-examination. Suggested she'd willingly stolen the files. That her relationship with Leonardo had been inappropriate. That she'd conspired with Dante for money. But Donna had survived Murphy. Had survived 3 years of being told she was worthless, broken, deserving of pain. A lawyer's accusations were nothing compared to that. I made a mistake, she said clearly. I trusted a criminal because he threatened a child. I betrayed a man who'd shown me nothing but kindness. I'm not proud of those choices. But I'd make them again if I thought it would save Sophia Morton's life. The jury believed her. She could see it in their faces. Dante was convicted on 14 counts. Racketeering, extortion, witness tampering, money laundering. The judge sentenced him to 45 years without parole. Leonardo took a plea deal the same week. 5 years probation, substantial fines, forfeiture of certain assets tied to illegal transactions. No prison time. The media called it a win for both sides. The prosecution got a major conviction. Leonardo kept his freedom. But Donna knew the real cost. She saw it in Leonardo's eyes when they passed each other in the courthouse. In the careful distance he maintained. In the fact that Sophia wasn't with him. 2 weeks after the trial ended, Donna stood outside Sophia's school. She'd called ahead, gotten permission from both the school and Mrs. Chen, who was now Sophia's legal guardian while Leonardo sorted out custody arrangements with social services. Sophia emerged from the building, saw Donna and stopped. For a terrible moment, Donna thought the girl would turn away. Would hate her for leaving, for the chaos that had followed. Then Sophia ran. Crashed into Donna's arms with enough force to knock the breath from her lungs. Small hands fisting in Donna's jacket. You came back. You came back. I promised I'd try. Donna held the girl tight, breathing in her shampoo, her innocence. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. For everything. Papa said you made a mistake, but you were trying to protect me. Sophia pulled back, looking up with those 2 wise eyes. He said sometimes love makes us do scary things. He said that. He talks about you sometimes. When he thinks I'm not listening. He's sad. Donna's throat closed. I'm sad too. Then fix it. Grown-ups are always saying they can't fix things, but you can. You just have to be brave. Sophia grabbed her hand. Come to my piano recital next week. Please. Papa will be there. You can talk to him. Sophia, I don't think. Please. You promised you wouldn't disappear. You promised. And Donna had promised this child who'd already lost her mother that she wouldn't abandon her too. Okay, she whispered. I'll be there. Sophia beamed. Good. Because I've been practicing really hard, and I want you both to see. The piano recital was held in the school auditorium. Donna sat in the back, watching parents and families fill the seats. Leonardo arrived late, slipping into a row near the front. He didn't see her, or pretended not to. Sophia played beautifully. A simple piece, but performed with the concentration and joy of a child who loved music. When she finished, she looked out into the audience, found Leonardo, then kept searching until she spotted Donna. Her smile could have lit the world. After, in the chaos of families congratulating their children, Sophia pulled both Leonardo and Donna aside. I have something to say. Her voice was small but determined. I know things are complicated. I know Miss Donna made mistakes and Papa is hurt. But you're both my family. And I need you to fix this because I can't lose anyone else. Leonardo's expression cracked. Sophia. I lost Mama. I almost lost you to jail. And Miss Donna left, and I thought she was gone forever too. Tears spilled down Sophia's cheeks. I'm tired of losing people. So you have to figure it out. You have to try. She ran off to join her friends, leaving Donna and Leonardo standing in the emptying auditorium. She's right, Donna said quietly. We have to try. Not for us. For her. Leonardo looked at her finally. Really looked, and his careful control wavered. I don't know if I can trust you again. Then don't. Not yet. But let me earn it back. Day by day. Choice by choice. She stepped closer. I'm not asking for forgiveness, Leonardo. I'm asking for a chance to prove I've learned. That I can trust you. That I can be part of Sophia's life and yours, without running when things get hard. And if I say no, then I'll respect that. I'll step back. But I'll still be here, loving you both from a distance, hoping someday you'll change your mind. Leonardo was quiet for so long Donna thought he'd simply walk away. Then he said, Dinner. Tomorrow night. You, me and Sophia. At the house. Donna's heart stopped. Really? I'm not promising anything beyond dinner. But Sophia's right. We have to try. He finally met her eyes fully. I miss you, Donna. I hate that I miss you, but I do. I miss you too. Then come to dinner. We'll start there. He walked away, leaving Donna standing alone in the auditorium with something she hadn't felt in weeks. 6 months later. Donna sat in her new office at the Victim Advocacy Center, reviewing case files. The space was small but hers. Photographs of Sophia covered one corner of her desk. A coffee mug Leonardo had given her, reading Courage is Choosing Trust, sat beside her keyboard. Her phone buzzed. A text from the woman she was meeting in 20 minutes. I'm scared. What if he finds me? Donna typed back quickly. I'll be right here. You're not alone anymore. I promise. The same words someone should have said to her 3 years ago. The words she now got to offer others. The woman who arrived was young, mid-20s, with nervous eyes and a scarf wrapped too tightly around her neck despite the warm weather. Donna recognized that scarf. Had worn a dozen like it. Thank you for seeing me. The woman's voice trembled. I didn't know where else to go. You're in the right place. Donna gestured to the chair. Tell me what's happening. Over the next hour, the woman shared her story. The boyfriend who'd started with criticism, escalated to control, finally to violence. The fear that kept her trapped. The certainty that no one would believe her, help her, care. Donna listened. Really listened. Then shared her own story. Not all of it, but enough. Murphy. The bruises. The shame. And finally, the choice to accept help even when it terrified her. You helped put away Dante Calabrese, the woman whispered. I read about it. You testified even though it was dangerous. I did. And it was the scariest thing I've ever done. But also the most important. How did you get brave enough? Donna thought about Leonardo. About Sophia. About learning to trust when every instinct screamed to run. I found people worth being brave for. And I let them help me believe I was worth saving. He pulled out a folder. Here are resources. Safe house. Legal aid. Counseling. And my direct number. You can call any time, day or night. The woman took the folder with shaking hands. What if I'm not strong enough? Strength isn't not being afraid. It's asking for help when you are. Donna stood, walked her to the door. You came here today. That took tremendous courage. Build on that. One choice at a time. After the woman left, Donna sat at her desk and breathed. These sessions were hard. Emotionally draining. But also healing in ways she hadn't expected. Every woman she helped was a piece of herself being saved retroactively. Her phone rang. Leonardo. How was your day? His voice was warm, familiar. Heavy. But needed. She leaned back in her chair. How's Sophia? Excited about tonight. She's been planning the menu since this morning. Apparently we're having something called celebration pasta, which involves far too much cheese. Tonight. 6 months since Donna had officially moved into the house. Sophia had insisted on marking the occasion with a family dinner. Family. The word still made Donna's throat tight. I'll be home by 6. We'll be waiting. Home by 6. To a family waiting for her. To people who loved her and let her love them back. 6 months ago that would have felt impossible. Donna gathered her things and headed out. The commute took her past the building where Morton Global Holdings still operated. Leonardo had stepped back from daily operations as part of his probation agreement, installing new management while he focused on legitimate business expansion. He'd also started a foundation, funding domestic violence shelters, supporting victim advocacy programs, turning his resources toward helping people instead of just protecting his empire. Penance, he'd called it. Growth, Donna had corrected. At home, Sophia met her at the door covered in flour and sauce, grinning like she'd won the lottery. We made garlic bread. Well, I made it. Papa supervised. Come see. Donna let herself be dragged into the kitchen where Leonardo stood at the stove, also flour-dusted, looking more relaxed than she'd ever seen him. She's a tyrant in the kitchen, he said, eyes warm. I fear for anyone who works in a restaurant with her someday. I'm efficient. You said efficiency was important. I did. You're absolutely right. They ate dinner together. Talked about Sophia's day, about Donna's work, about Leonardo's meeting with his probation officer. Normal things. Family things. After Sophia went to bed, Leonardo found Donna in the library. The same room where he'd first confessed his feelings. Where she'd told him about Detective Chen's call. Full circle. He sat beside her, taking her hand. 6 months. Feels longer. In a good way. There's something I want to show you. Leonardo pulled a small box from his pocket. Donna's heart stopped. Leonardo. It's not what you think. Not yet, anyway. He opened it. Inside was a key. Simple silver. I had the house rekeyed. New locks, new security system. This is your key. Not a spare. Not a guest key. Yours. The symbolism wasn't lost on her. New locks. New start. Her place in this home made permanent and official. I don't know what to say. Say you'll stay. Not because you're afraid to leave. Not because you're grateful for protection. But because this is where you want to be. Donna took the key. Closed her fingers around it. This is where I want to be. Where I choose to be. Every single day. Leonardo kissed her then. Soft and deep and full of promise. 6 months of rebuilding trust distilled into one perfect moment. When they finally pulled apart, he rested his forehead against hers. I want to marry you someday. When we're both ready. When Sophia's ready. No rush, no pressure. Just someday. Someday sounds perfect. They sat together in comfortable silence, the kind that only comes from really knowing someone. From choosing them despite the complications. Donna's phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Her first instinct was fear. But Leonardo's hand tightened on hers, grounding her. He checked the message. "This is Rachel. We met today. I wanted to say thank you. I'm at the safe house now. I'm scared but I'm safe. You were right. One choice at a time." Donna showed Leonardo the message. "You're changing lives," he said quietly. "We're changing lives. The foundation you started funds half the programs I refer people to. Then we're a good team. The best." Sophia appeared in the doorway, rubbing her eyes. "I can't sleep. Can we watch a movie? All of us together." They moved to the living room. Sophia curled between them on the couch. Put on some animated film Sophia had seen a dozen times. Halfway through, the little girl fell asleep, head on Donna's shoulder. Leonardo carefully lifted his daughter, carried her upstairs. Donna followed, watching as he tucked Sophia in, kissed her forehead. The same tenderness he'd shown that first week when Donna was still learning what real protection looked like. Back in the hallway, Leonardo took Donna's hand. "Come to bed. Our bed. Our bed. Home. Family." All the things Donna had stopped believing she deserved. All the things she'd learned to accept through trust and time and choosing courage over fear. Later, lying in the darkness with Leonardo's arm around her, Donna thought about the woman she'd been 6 months ago. Terrified. Alone. Convinced that safety meant solving everything herself. And the woman she was becoming. Brave enough to ask for help. Strong enough to offer it. Whole enough to love and be loved. The scars remained. Probably always would. She still had moments of panic when someone raised their voice. Still fought the urge to make herself small when conflict arose. But she also had Leonardo, patient and steady, reminding her she was safe. Had Sophia, loving her with the uncomplicated acceptance of a child who'd chosen her as family. Had meaningful work that turned her pain into purpose. Had a future that looked nothing like her past. "What are you thinking about?" Leonardo's voice was sleepy. "How far we've come. How grateful I am." "Me too." He pulled her closer. "Thank you for not giving up. On yourself. Thank you for giving me a reason not to." Outside, the city hummed with late-night traffic. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. More women seeking help. More healing to do. More trust to build. But tonight, Donna let herself simply be. Loved. Everything she'd survived had led her here. To this man. This child. This life. And she wouldn't change a single painful step if it meant losing what she'd found. Donna drifted toward sleep, Leonardo's heartbeat steady beneath her ear. Her phone buzzed one last time on the nightstand. Another unknown number. Another message. But this time, Donna smiled and ignored it. Whatever came next, whatever challenges tomorrow brought, she'd face them the way she'd learned to face everything now. Not alone. Together. With people who loved her. Who she trusted. Who made her brave. And that made all the difference. In the morning she'd check the message. Would handle whatever it contained with Leonardo beside her. But tonight, she simply closed her eyes and let herself rest. Finally, truly, completely home.